Hi, I'm Sebastian,
Hi, and I'm Juan.
and today we'll be digging into demand generation and the best way to tackle your target audience challenges. Get ready and buckle up.
How do you optimize your customer's journey, drive demand, reduce churn rate, increase retention, and generate growth? Are some of the questions marketers continuously ask.
Welcome to the Customer XP Crew Weekly Podcast, where we discuss marketing strategies, tactics, ideas, experiences, invite guests and experts to help you with your marketing growth by being customer-centric. And now to this episode.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Customer XP Crew, your weekly podcast about everything customer centric. After a couple of weeks of well deserved rest, we're coming back fully charged with fresh out of the oven value pack episodes with everything you need to take your business to the next level. Today, we like to begin talking about demand generation and the importance of understanding your target audience. With me is Juan Gomez, industry expert and marketing director. Juan, how's everything going?
Doing good. I am here and ready to rumble again.
Fantastic. So, demand generation, I know it may not come across as a very well-known definition, but I think it's on the rise.
Yeah, it's a trending topic. It's a little bit of actually lead generation on steroids, pretty much. There's a little bit of a difference. Demand generation, it's about creating people who are enticingly wanting your product by creating an appeal that really caters to them, understands the needs and wants of the customers in order to generate demand.
Awesome. And how do you think eh, can businesses implement this into their sales strategy or their value propositions?
So before a sales strategy is if you apply demand generation, obviously you're gonna be educating your customers beforehand, which it all the sales and objections might happen through the content that they're receiving. So once they land on your phone line or they book a demo or they arrive to your store, whatever it is that transaction to take place, these customers are better well informed and it will be much easier to convert because they already went through the journey and experimenting all the different types of objections that they normally have, and your content has addressed them. So when they reach you, is because they already saw all that value in you and they want you. They are in buy mode. You're not selling, they are buying. So that makes a world difference. But today, the most important thing is we're gonna be outlining today what are some of the things that are important to demand generation, and one of the most critical ones is defining your target audience, how you gather audience insights, how you create targeted content, and how you refine your messaging and positioning so that you can choose the best demand generation channels for your target audience.
Awesome. I think you just touched a sweet spot, and is that uh, you get you manage to skip a lot of rocks because there is a lot of time that goes to waste when you cater to the wrong audience because there is budget, efforts, time, etc., etc. When you are not you can have the greatest product ever, but if you are channeling all those efforts to the wrong audience, it's going to be a waste of time and resources. Plus you have to deal with rejections, and car abandonment is one example. So I think this is the reason that demand generation is on trend, and of course that understanding your target audience is crucial at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think defining your target audience is one of the most critical steps because, like that, you know who you're talking to. You really know and understand what these people are actually needing and wanting. So basically, it's like you getting it in their head. And in order for you to do that, you have to define very clearly who they are. Without a clear understanding of who your target audience is, it's really difficult to create or cater, as you said, a demand generation strategy that effectively reaches this audience and engages with the potential customers that you might get from creating this campaigns. So how do you define this audience? As most marketers might know, you want to obviously compact together what are the demographic factors, which include age, gender, income, education level, other geographical factors like location, language, cultural background, and also psychological factors like personality traits, values, interests, and also behaviors. What is their purchase history, website behavior, search queries, all this kind of stuff together. So you can create a customer persona. And with this course customer persona or ideal client profile, ICPs, then you're able to create this kind of brief of who this person is. So when you're trying to create a campaign, you really know who you're talking to, what their problems are, and what do they need. So that would really define how you create a successful demand strategy that will take you from point A to point Z. So for example, a company that sells fitness equipment might define their target audience as individuals that work out constantly, that are and are interested in eating healthy, and they're into fitness. They are located within, and let's say you have a gym, so they're located within a 5 mile radius or 10 mile radius of your gym, and they're interested in high quality equipment or gyms. So if you're a manufacturer of fitness equipment, so it's all these people. If it's a gym, then people who are in a 5 mile radius, who, let's say you are an exclusive or in a luxury kind of gym, where not like kind of like an Equinox, then obviously you want to cater to people who have an income level that is really high. So that type of things you want to obviously create on your customer persona and have it really well defined. So when you create a campaign, it really appeals to them.
But I believe, and this is one of the greatest aspects of demand generation, and when you really get your target audience, is that there is also a portion of an audience that's inspirational. Like there are the people that are actually currently your target audience, as the example you just mentioned, people that cater to fitness, to well-being, to gym equipment, etc. But there are also people that they might still not be there, but they have those interests, and this is where marketing comes into play, and you start to spark that interest, and this is where a awareness comes in, and you start developing that necessity and creating that need, so you can expand that target audience and reach more people.
Yeah, I think one of the key aspects is focus on a niche audience, and if you can, on a sub niche before you start branching out to other audiences. It's easier to be the bigger fish in a small pond than to be the bigger fish on a lake or an ocean. Obviously there's a lot of area to cover, but if you can start with a pond and you become that big fish, then you can move to a bigger pond, and then a bigger pond, and then you eventually are in a lake, and then you're the master of the ocean. But you have to start somewhere. So before really catering to a larger audience, focus on sub niches, become that part, that critical part of or that critical company or that critical product or that critical service of that sub niche before you start venturing into other ones. One of the other key aspects that we discussed that today we will talk about is how you gather audience insights. So there's a lot of methods to do this, and one of them, it includes doing surveys, focus groups. You can do social media listening. You can go to Reddit and read some of those posts. Web analytics. You can find a lot of data that's really valuable that you might have at hand right now, either from your actual customers, or you can purchase obviously as well industry reports that will give you that. But the more it is about your company, so your customers and the people who follow you or are in tune and engage with you, that's going to obviously give you a better grasp of defining your core audience, and that will give you a lot more specificity than what a report, an industry report, is going to tell you.
Of
So
course.
you want to create again the surveys and focus groups where you ask your target audience questions directly. You also want to listen to the social media channels to see what are the questions raised, what are the type of comments, the type of reviews, who your competitors are as well. And you might want to take a look at the reviews and comments that the people are leaving in the sites. In your website and the analytics, you want to continuously analyze data and also from your social media to see where the interactions happen, what type of content people are liking more, they're engaging more, they're sharing more. So this is going to give you a lot of valuable data in order for you to take decisions on your content strategy, on the type of campaigns you want to run, the type of products, where you want to also enhance your company or your service in order for you to improve and retain more customers in the long run.
Absolutely. And I really do think, like, us marketers, you know, that we say that data is our gold because it's like nothing is more precious to us than data because it's what is the fuel that we use to work with. But I really do believe that the effectiveness and the value of the insights that your audience might provide to you relies entirely on the relationship that you have with your audience. That's why, as we have said in previous episodes, the process of nurturing and building a sense of community within your audience is crucial because the better of a relationship you build with your audience, the better outcome and results and insights you're going to get from them. It's not the same as a multinational that one day they woke up and they send you a survey. Okay, what do you think of our product? Whereas a
Mhm.
company that from day one they have built a relationship with trust and bonding with their audience. That's fantastic.
Mhm. Correct.
That's why some people they really embrace and love some brands because they have it's practically they born with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like I said, there's some methods that are better than others,
Mhm.
and there are some pros and cons, but data is super valuable. And for example, from focus groups and surveys, they might be a lot of pros, which is you're getting more detailed information, insights that are not a like you get from having these open-ended questions and having a lot of people express their feelings and how they actually use your service. It's going to give you a lot more insights, whereas with other type of devices or instruments that you're trying to gather data, it might be one choice or another one. So you're not
Yeah.
really leaving that open-ended question where a lot of people can explain a lot more. So surveys and focus groups, they're really good because they give you those things that are hidden and really you can uncover a lot more. But the downside to that is that they're more time consuming and sometimes more expensive. Social media listening and website analytics provide you more quantitative data, whereas focus groups they provide you both qualitative and quantitative data, but you can really get a lot more and capitalize more on qualitative data. And from social media listening and website analytics, like I said, you grab more quantitative data, and but you might not get as much depth on what you want, what the customers want. So before you go out on this is either through surveys or focus groups or social media listening platforms and analytics. Make sure you're asking yourself the right questions. And also, if you're doing a survey and having a focus group, you're asking them the right questions for you to interpret data that you gather from your audience and put it correctly. Because asking the right questions is what's going to really drive your insights, and it's gonna avoid leading to bias information
Mm, absolutely.
or to things that you really have no use. So make sure you validate that, you study what you really want, what are your objectives, and you formulate the right questions for this in order for it to work and implement in your demand strategy.
Awesome. Also, on that note, there is a huge aspect to consider, and it's the importance of empathy that goes along with the ethical implications that we have. You gotta have a good grasp and understanding on cultural and societal factors that might affect your target audience. Why? Because you don't want to sound tone deaf, or maybe conduct a focus group or do a survey where the communication sometimes get lost in translation, or you sound out of touch. So
Mm-hmm.
this ethical aspect is a crucial part of having into consideration, not only for the for the obviously for the ethical implications, but also because you don't want to hurt that communication and that relationship of trust that you have built with your audience.
That is correct. But and this takes us to the next point, which is creating targeted content for your audience. So how do you create targeted content? Well, the first thing is really know what resonates with your target audience. And how do you create something that resonates with your target audience? So most human beings would really see something that appeals to them either through the pain points that they have, the needs they have, or the interests that they share. So if you create content that speaks directly to their needs, to their pain points, to their interests, they're more likely to take action than people who are not having those type of issues. I always give this example. It might sound dumb, but you're not gonna sell soccer balls to a golfer.
Mm,
Like
that's
you're
right.
not gonna sell cosmetics to a crowd full of men. So you see, it's kind of really. I mean, you might find people in either of those groups to buy that product or service from you, but you're not gonna have that much of appeal, and you're gonna be wasting a lot of dollars because that
Yes.
audience is not segmented right. So if you really understand your audience and you're targeting it correctly, and you understand which are the pain points, needs, and interests that these people have, and you create content that speaks directly to this, then this is gonna give them a likelihood for them to take an action, and from that action you're going to drive them to wherever you want to land, either a landing page or create an appointment or or fill out a form, whatever it is that you need. But that's going to really make a difference and take them there. So, for example, a company that sells beauty products may create content on tips and tutorials about
Mm,
using their products, and it highlights the benefits of their products and the different skin types and concerns and all that kind of stuff, just because they are that beauty product company. If they are a software company, like they sell an accounting software, then they might want to share relevant news about new tax regulations, the next filing, sales tax, or how to do bookkeeping a lot more efficiently, and blah blah blah. All these kind of things really appeal to business owners, and it's going to help them a lot. And that type of content, it's going to also drive more engagement, which might take them to land on your website or a landing page that you've created, and you take them on from there. But this type of content is the things that you want. Obviously, the bigger the pain, the more they are going to look for this information, the more likely you're gonna be about converting them.
Yeah, and it also enhances that sense of community. And now that you mentioned the pain points, that is also correct. I really do believe that the more you take time to analyze the pain points, and you in some way do like a hierarchy, or you prioritize these pain points, you can create solutions, or you can create communications that directly caters to those pain points, and in that way it's going to be easier to attract this audience.
Yes. And last but not least is how you improve your messaging for demand generation and the positioning. So by really understanding the your target audience, and you really understand the challenges that these people have and how your product helps them, it's gonna make you become a have a better positioning in their mind for these customers, because now with all these features and benefits of using your tool or service or product, it's going to give them a wealth of information for them and reasons to use you, because you're solving that specific pain point. So that's how you, with your messaging, improve your positioning.
And do you believe, lastly, that there is an impact or advantage, or maybe a threat or challenge with the most recent improvements in technology? Now that we're talking about target audience and demand generation, or perhaps we can take it to our favor.
I think there's a lot of tools that simplify and help us and enable us to create better appeal, better research. A lot of tools like AI. We all heard of Chat GPT, so you can really help and create a lot of the language that you want to know, or do some research on this, and the audience, and you can research your audience more on using Chat GPT, for example, and create copy and for your campaign, that when you're launching it, and also some topics that you want to talk about, all this kind of stuff. And from technology, you can create it. You can also use technology such as Canva, for example, for in order to, if you're not a designer, you can use this tool to create a decent design for your campaign, which you're gonna post, and hopefully you can land some interested people and get them to that landing page and try to convert them, and like that you can generate marketing and sales from those actions.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like it's going to replace your job, but certainly it's going to facilitate it a lot. So you can expend a lot more time and effort on other more important things.
That's correct. And I think that's all for today. I think we covered everything about
Fantastic.
audience insights and for demand generation, and how do you create an audience for you to really position your company or your product. And last but not least, just to make a summary or to conclude this, is make sure you appeal to your customer, whoever is that customer persona you build, and you cater through by talking about their needs, their motivations, their interests, and their problems. You're really going to know how to drive that attention from them and resonate with them. The other thing I want to make sure that you get from this is you have to craft an irresistible offer, because it's not just launching a campaign and let them grab it and see it, but also in order for you to convert them and for them to entice to click them and to convert them, have an irresistible offer, something that they have a no-brainer and the risk is more on you than them, but for you it's a calculated risk, where whereas for the customer they're taking that leap of faith and they can validate and see all that value from your product or service, and it has to be something that you can offer and it doesn't cost you that much, but is just enough for them to see the great value that you offer, and that once you convert them, it's gonna reap rewards for you.
Fantastic one. Thank you so much for your input. It was really insightful. And that's a wrap. And also thanks to all of our audience for staying and listening to us. Remember, guys, that you can find us on the hottest podcast platforms. You can find us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and also on YouTube. You can find us as the Customer XP Crew podcast. Remember, this was our weekly podcast about everything customer centric, and we cannot wait to see you next week. Have a good weekend. Take care and bye bye.
Yeah. One last thing I wanna address. We're gonna be launching something really cool, which is called the Business Clinic. We're
Oh,
gonna be having it on Wednesdays. If you wanna go to our website at moreketing.us and make sure you click on the Business Clinic right there on the homepage. Where once you scroll down a little bit, you can sign up and you can ask me directly some questions about the any marketing question that you might have, and I'll be happy to solve it then and talk to you and give you some advice, and we'd love to hear you. So please join us on Wednesdays.
and talking about irresistible offers, there you go.
Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Yes. See you there. Take care and bye bye.